you make time for what you prioritize, plain and simple. Some days that means I'm going to the gym and I'm having a great time and I'm able to lift the way I want to. Other times that's not happening. Other times I have to put my family first. Looking at the schedule, what do I have to cut out? I didn't get my nails done this week. Bummer. Guess what? I meal prep though. That takes priority. You have to sacrifice something, but don't let it be your health. Keep evolving, give grace, be flexible, but you're not giving up your water, you're not giving up your sleep, you're not giving up balanced meals. You're just not.
Welcome to the VSHRED Better Body, Better Life podcast, where we help you live your best life while working on your health and fitness goals. We're here to make your journey fun and inspiring.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the VSHRED Better Body, Better Life podcast. I'm your host, Vince Sant, and today I'm very excited to have one of our VSHRED coaches here with us, Felicia, just to tell us about her experience with finding motivation in the family life and how she gets up and gets motivated and ready to go every single day, even though her schedule is busy and packed and crazy. So I'm really excited to just interview her and find out more about what goes into that whole life. I'm planning to have kids eventually, not yet. And so I wanted to thank you and welcome you to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Vince, for having me.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead. I know we kind of just talked about what all you're certified in. And I figured just on the go just now, decided I wasn't going to say it and I was going to let you say it all. That way you could kind of explain what each of them means, because I could sit here and say, oh, you're a corrective exercise specialist or the cancer and exercise care with nutrition. But I want to hear from you why you got into those and what all those mean.
Absolutely. So I have been a coach, a nutritionist for over a decade now, so pre-kids. And I really had an interest with not just go to the gym, rah-rah, go and, do the routine, do the personal training, gig, but I wanted to focus more on a holistic style of what makes this person's body tick. Why are they having these injuries? Why are they having these problems? So the corrective exercise comes alongside and I'm able to see what is not working for that person, what is not firing properly, and allowing their body to correct that through personalization of the exercises and helping them. The pre and postnatal care, which obviously I have a big passion in, was something that was developed because when I had my first child, I am talking to the doctor, okay, what can I do for exercise? And they go, whatever you feel comfortable doing, because that's all they can really say. And I'm like, that's wild. You don't know what I do. I do sit-ups upside down with my legs attached to a punching bag. Do I really think that I should be doing that 6 months pregnant? So that stirred me in that direction. And then most recently, I have others, but my biggest passion right now is focusing on cancer and exercise care with nutrition. My husband went through stage 3 lymphoma when we were married about 1 year. So almost a 1-year-old. And then I most recently lost my mother-in-law to pancreatic cancer. And I'm at this point in my journey where there is nothing for them to do health-wise. There's no plan of care for exercise. There's no plan of care for nutrition. Just eat whatever makes you feel good. And I go, that's not good enough. So I'm really, that's my passion is coming alongside the people and helping them get answers for what they're really looking for.
Yeah, no, I love that. And sorry to hear about all of those things, honestly.
Appreciate that.
What got you into fitness in the first place?
Listen, I've always been an active person. Soccer, I'm very competitive. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. I worked with them a little bit, have a really fun background with that. But I just realized when I was in college for working with children, I found more passion and excitement at the gym than I did in my studies. And I instantly was like, I can't do this. I won't have kids if I continue working in elementary ed. So I changed majors and I went up to my NASM cert and I fell in love with learning. And honestly, that's what drove me into it. I wanted to help people. My dad's a chiropractor. I see how he helps people. I wanted that.
How has family or having kids become like a source of motivation for you versus what was your motivation in the beginning?
Oh yeah. Motivation in the beginning is very aesthetic. It's all about, your brand, your business. They want to work with a certain trainer to now kids watch everything you do. More things are caught than taught. I can say, eat your vegetables. But if I'm in the corner, with mom's secret stash of chocolate, they're just looking at that. They're not picking up on the thing I say 10,000 times a day. So me and my version of health has changed from being very rigid and very much task-oriented to more flexible, to more finding new ways to influence them. Because any parent will tell you if they have more than one, they're so different. They're all so different. So it prompted me just to find more information and to just not be so one-track minded.
Yeah. And so you treat each child differently because they learn differently?
Correct. So my firstborn is a true firstborn. I'm not sure if you have siblings.
I have 2 sisters.
Older or younger? Where are you at?
I'm middle.
Okay. So I'm not being biased. I'm not saying this just because it's you, but middle is definitely my favorite. There's something about the middle. Not saying
I was always my mom's favorite. I hate to say it.
Right. Well, you're also the boy. I have a boy. He's the youngest. But
okay.
My middle is so different than my first and my third. The first and the third are exactly the same. They don't sleep. They do their own thing. They're very strong-willed. My middle child is there to, whatever you want to do, Mom, I'm here for a good time. I'm your best friend. So I can tell my middle child, hey, Harper, can you please, have that protein because it's going to be good for you and it's going to make you happy? Sure, Mom. I tell my youngest, now listen, he's 2. But I tell, hey, Liam, can you have your chicken? It'll give you energy. He goes, no. And he throws it across the room. So I can't do the exact same thing. And every parent will feel me. It's a struggle sometimes, and other times it's great.
And then so how do you talked about like leading by example with a lot of things. When they don't pick up on that, what's your next go-to? Like, what are some examples that parents can lead by example? Consistency
all the way. How we were kind of raised with, maybe not in your family, but my family, and kind of like the 90s and 2000s, food was a way of deprivation, or food was a treat. So one big thing that I do in my household is at dinner time, I don't say, if you don't eat X, Y, and Z, you don't get dessert. It's not about that, because the ends don't justify the means. You're now raising them that they need that gratification of that dessert. If I'm good, I now get this. And we do the same things as adults. When something great happens, people are popping bottles. It's just not food. When we're depressed, we go for chocolate. So I'm trying to change the way that they view food and everything. So when my son is not eating what I want him to eat, I don't just go make him chicken nuggets. Now, I'm not going to sit there for 2 hours and be at war with him. No parent has time, energy, or desire for that. So please don't. But what I will do is I have alternatives. So I have the pouches that have like the beef, and I have all those things that I make sure that he's getting what he needs, but I'm not going to make food a war in my household.
Yeah. And you say that people do it not with food, but with like alcohol now, but people do it with food too.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of people who like they celebrate small wins or big accomplishments by going to their favorite restaurant or by having their favorite cheat meal or whatever it is. And I've talked with people in the past about how that creates a bad relationship with food, because now all of a sudden your reward for doing stuff successfully is what you're trying to avoid in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
And it creates that relationship. So that's cool that you're doing that from a super young age. I would like to say my parents did the same, but it was definitely like, no, you're going to finish that food.
Oh, I remember staring down those chickpeas, because again, my family was crunchy before it was cool. So it was like, I don't want to eat spinach and chickpeas. Now it sounds great, but no.
Yeah. What do they all have, like specific healthy favorite foods that they go towards?
Yes. So my oldest has definitely, turned a corner. She is a big proprietor of everything healthy. So when we go shopping, I'll give them all like their little carts, and I'll tell them, hey, go pick the rainbow of all your favorite fruits and veggies. I don't care how much they get. I just want them to get accustomed to, they fill their baskets with the healthy things. So Allie's favorite thing is steak. She's my 8-year-old.
Steak.
She loves steak.
She got expensive taste.
She does have expensive taste. I'm especially with 3 of them, but I made it this week. They all had it. It was great. They like salmon, chicken. They don't like the ground stuff. I hate to say it, but they're down for whatever I eat. And if I'm eating most of those things, minus the salad all the time, except Harper, the middle child, they'll eat any veggie I put in front of them, except for broccoli. But we don't have to get into that.
They're not fans of salad.
Harper is. The other two, the oldest one does it because I ask her to. The youngest one, he's 2. Again, I'm happy if I get him to eat normal family food at the dinner table.
Yeah, he's 2.
He's 2.
He's got some time.
I do.
I don't think I was eating healthy till I was 22. So
that's why I always want to tell people, like, parents, you have time. Like, you didn't miss the boat. It's okay. You have to be patient with yourself and give yourself grace, you know?
Yeah. And I also think different kids struggle with different things physically, you know?
Yeah.
While some kids are definitely just leaner, you know, and they don't carry as much fat, or they don't love food as much. Like, I have a buddy, he's got his 2-year-old, he'll be his 2nd birthday this weekend. He's like one of my best friends. His baby loves food, like just eats literally anything, and then cries when he's done eating. And then I also know people who, like, they have to, like, really, they struggle to feed their baby, you know? And so, like, they're going to struggle with different things. And I guess that's just a learning process.
It is. And in those instances, I just tell parents too, like, every child's built differently. So my 8-year-old is a string bean. I don't know where she gets it from. Then my other one, she's more of the curvy. She's definitely, she's got it. So I don't want them to have that body image things. I definitely had that at a very young age. You know, I can tell you the first time someone told me that I was fat, and that sticks with you. And I hear that from when I teach master classes with VSHRED from women, like, and men. We hold that trauma. So that's something. We don't use the word fat in our house. We don't use the word skinny. I say, show me how strong you are, and they'll flex. And they're into it. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to cultivate in our household. Yeah,
that's fun. And then, like, so it sounds like the nutrition part, I don't want to say the nutrition part's figured out. Like, we're talking about
it's always evolving.
The kids, like they're a 27-year-old client that you're working with. But it sounds like you have, like, a really good understanding, especially, how old's your oldest, you said?
She's 8.
8. So you have some experience.
Yes. Honestly, like, it's one of those things where it takes time. You have to be patient with yourself. I'm in a spot now where I am meal prepping for the week. The kids pack their lunches with my help, but this is something that I've really had to work on. And as a parent, you know, I haven't always worked from home. I've worked 60 hours in a gym. I have a husband who's a teacher. I know parents are exhausted. That's really what it comes down to. It's not the lack of wanting to. For parents, it's the lack of the time. But what I've learned, time and money-wise, you're better off sitting down with the family, putting out that daily planner and saying, hey, this is what our schedule looks like. Who wants to help me make dinner on this night? Or who wants... And if you start it early, obviously my 2-year-old is not at the oven. He's not at the stove. But, like, my older girl's like, hey, you know, we're going to have Friday night. We're going to have a movie night. What's a meal you guys want to help me make? And they're so invested and they're so involved. But it also saves time, effort, and money. Going out to dinner with 5 kids is like $90 easy. And I'm not talking like, you know, going to Firebird or somewhere bougie, but I'm not taking them to McDonald's. I'm just not doing it. So what I found is...
Even McDonald's is expensive now.
Especially if your kids eat. Like, your friend's kid who just loves to eat. Like, he's like, Uncle Vince, where you at? Take me out. But it's just, I've learned from experience. Like, when I talk to people, I'm like, oh, trust me, I am a last-born child. I am not organized. I have forced myself to prioritize meal prep and meal planning just as I don't want to have all right, guys, what are we eating tonight? Who wants to deal with that every night? I don't.
Yeah. So you're the youngest.
Yeah. Yep.
In your family. How many siblings?
2 older sisters. The middle child was the favorite. And then the oldest one is very driven, she's actually a baker. So I always tell her, like, you got to make some vegan cookies. You got to watch it. She goes, I got you.
So there's 3 of you.
Yeah, there's 3 sisters. Okay. We are all daddy's favorites. Poor mom didn't have the boy. It's okay.
That's cute. I would say poor dad did.
No.
I said, I want kids. I need a boy.
That is exactly what my husband said. And he's got his boy. And now when he runs and headbutts him, I'm like, you wanted it. You got it.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
Oh, he's going to be
Like,
dressed
harder.
up in all the football stuff. I know. He's going to be repping the Bengals.
Oh, yeah. Young.
Yes.
Out the womb.
Oh, trust me. We got Eagles all in this house. I got you.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. I actually heard the accent a little bit when you said something just now.
The Philly accent. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. And so, okay, now let's kind of bridge to like exercise.
Yeah.
Because like obviously nutrition is going to be a massive, massive part. And the more that you can lead by example with that, the more they're going to pick up on, the more that I love the idea of involving them with certain stuff, because like I feel like growing up, I don't think I ever really helped my mom or dad cook ever. Like maybe like Thanksgiving or something like that. But I today don't cook. You know, I don't like cooking. I don't think I'm very good at cooking. And so maybe that would have been a little bit different had I grown up cooking a little bit more. And so that's really cool. But then what about exercise? Because like growing up, I wasn't around. My parents were always in like, I don't want to say bad shape, but they weren't like fit, you know? And then it wasn't until I was probably, I don't know, young teens that I finally like saw my dad like working out a bunch, and I started going with him. And so, but before that, like there was no involvement or introduction to exercise. What's the case for you?
So I grew up where my dad would go running every single day. That was his stress relief. Okay.
Okay.
So, and my mom would walk, or she would do her Denise Austin. My very first exercise regiment was Denise Austin bands and all that good stuff. So, I had a very, very great upbringing that way. My husband, not the case. We are polar opposites. So when it comes to exercise, I cannot get the kids out of the room. And, you know, for some people, they don't want their kids around because they want to focus on them, and to each their own, that's fine. However, if I'm walking and working on my treadmill, we have this fake little Peloton next to me. And my kid you not, my middle child is next there on the Peloton, and she's just going and she's working out. And then, Liam's in the corner doing something, saying he's exercising. I don't know what he's doing, but they're mimicking me. And it's fun to see because that gets them excited. Or we'll go on a walk outside. We love all that stuff. We go to a gym where there's speed and agility. So, some people do sports. I tried to have my oldest do sports because I liked sports. It did not work. It was traumatizing for both her, myself, everybody involved. So, but she loves gymnastics. So, learning what she loves.
You say she loves gymnastics.
Yeah. And I never had the opportunity. So that girl has grip strength. She's into all that. So she does that. But I involve them in everything I do. I don't shoo them away. If I'm doing a live masterclass with VSHRED, and I'm doing a stretch class, Liam's home. Liam's like the guest of honor. He comes down, he lays on the floor. I mean, those women go crazy. Like, he's just like, hello. And he's down there doing stretching. Like, they enjoy
the
it.
Ladies' man, young.
Oh, trust me. He's just got the little flirt down very well. So it's not separate. It's all involved. It's all fun. And it's not like, we have to go work out. It's like, Mom, what are we doing today?
And did you learn that over time? Like with each child? And obviously, like we talked about how each case is going to be different, but like, are those generally like for a new mom or for someone who's struggling with getting their kids active and all they want to do is sit on the iPad or watch TV? Like, what do you recommend some like practical ideas for them to get them up off the couch and get them involved and get them thinking more fitness minded,
Do the exercises around them. Just be active. Like, if there's a workout that you're doing, do it to follow along so they can see you doing it. Like, hey, why don't you come do like the stretch portion at the end? Or, hey, why don't you see if you can hold a plank longer than me? Because I don't think you can. Like, depending on how they are, if they're competitive,
right,
you know what
right.
I mean? You know your kid, so play to that strength. But I remember being a couch potato before I got into soccer as a kid, and my parents, they were just like, hey, we're going outside for a walk, and I'm like, oh, okay, but like they involved me, and then like my sister joined a gym. And so, because she was getting married, and I'm like, well, I want to go. I want something to do. You'll drive me. So like finding ways of connecting them with like their older sibling, or just, have them join something with you. Try pickleball. Pickleball's in. That's not a lot of movement, but something simple.
Yeah. And are your kids competitive?
I'm working on it. They're not.
Working
Yeah,
on
I'm
it.
working on it. Yeah. The oldest, like I said, with soccer, she basically gave them the ball because she didn't want to hurt their feelings. So we're not ready for those sports.
Oh,
And
she's gentle.
she's
She's
very,
nice.
you got a skin knee, she's there stitching you up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute. Yeah, no, I was the complete opposite. I wanted to murder. I
Oh,
wanted to win.
I want to win. Absolutely. I used to cry at Eagles games,
wanted
but
to step on their. I didn't just want to
Yes.
win. I wanted to step on their necks and win. When
That's
they're
a
down,
whole-
kick
that's a
them
whole-
down further.
yeah, that's a whole nother level, Vince.
I know. My parents, I'm pretty sure my parents used it to their advantage where they're like, I need you to go get me something. I'm going to time you. And so
I
I'm
love
going to be
that.
stealing that one for sure. How fast can you go grab me my shoes?
Yes.
I'd be like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I can grab it so fast, Dad. Watch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Or honestly too, like that's a great way of getting your kid off the couch and different things, but also like earning it. Having I have my daughter made it for Liam sticker chart of every time he's helpful, every time he does something,
Aw.
gets a sticker. Like that's always something like, hey, go grab that for me, and then you can time him and add to the sticker chart or different things like that. It's all
Yeah.
fun. Make it a game.
That's cute. That's cute. And then so how can involving your kids in these healthy choices, how can it make their, like, to avoid someone having a bad relationship? Obviously that's like probably one of the biggest goals as a parent. Correct me if I'm wrong. You want to avoid like that future trauma that they have with their relationship with food, with their relationship with their body, with their confidence throughout school. Obviously nowadays, I mean, I don't even want to say nowadays, always bullying was a thing. And I do think a certain level of bullying is maybe good to help a kid build character, but there's a level that it gets taken way too far and it's become super prominent, I think, today. Or maybe it's just social media that makes everybody more aware of it. Because I got bullied plenty when I was growing up, and I know people who got bullied all around me, you know? I don't think it'll ever go away. It's just a part of life. But helping your child create that relationship with themselves, loving themselves, having confidence. How do you think that empowers them to lead on their own without needing their parents by their side all the time, or to be thinking health wise rather than not?
So that's something that, it started very early on. So you can kind of build, because developmentally wise, a 2-year-old can only pick up so much, but it starts being very young, very body positive, very much like, a good relationship with food. There is no bad whole food. When we talk about food, whole foods is whole foods.
Mm-hmm.
However, I talk in very early on, like, hey, so-and-so has Doritos with lunch every day. You don't need to parent them, but we don't have Doritos because of. And I explain that once they hit a certain age where they can understand. So that way I know they're not going to school bullying someone, being like, ugh, you eat Doritos, da-da-da. They don't know any better. And I tell them it's not their job. So that way I'm not teaching them to be a bully either. They don't need that. But I'm teaching them, okay, we're having this because of, and I explain what it does for their body. I explain how it helps their body thrive and function. Exercising outside and in general is giving them that dopamine effect. It's giving them endorphins. And as we all know, endorphins make you happy. So it's that dopamine, that checklist, that check mark. Everyone loves that check off their list, right? So giving that to them and helping them feel capable and successful with their exercises and feeling that it's not something abnormal, it's routine, that's going to help them feel good with who they are, no matter if they're athletic or not. Like I know plenty of people who they don't want to exercise because they've never been athletic, but it's not about being athletic. It's about celebrating your body in any way that makes you feel good. So body positivity that way. And again, we don't use the words of skinny. We don't use the words of fat in my house. I tell people I have my Target-sized child with skinny jeans, and then I have my Walmart daughter. So just different ways of how I talk about it. But I've struggled with confidence issues. I know that that's been something that I deal with on a regular basis because I live in a world where it's instant gratification. You don't like the way you look, you fix it and you pay for it. You don't like your midsection, don't work on it, pay for it. So I'm constantly bombarded with, drugs on alcohol and on Instagram of Ozempic, quick fix. I'm constantly bombarded with get a tummy tuck and all these things. But I'm remembering my daughters are looking to me about what is health. And if I remember that day in, day out, and I nourish my body and I balance my food and I live the way that I talk about with water and everything, that's going to make the biggest impact because they're looking for a role model. They'll find one, whether it's Ariana Grande or it's someone on YouTube, they will. But I want it to be me, and I want it to be real and genuine.
Yeah. No, that's probably the goal of all parents, but a lot easier said than done, especially if you're not actually you're not doing the things that are required to be a positive role model, because I had phenomenal parents growing up, but I know they were definitely, looking back now, I mean, they were doing the best they could. It's always funny to think about like our parents.
Yeah.
Like I'm 30 years old. My mom had 3 kids by the time she was my age, which is crazy to think about if I had 3 kids right now. Like, to think if I could figure everything out, having 3 kids at 30 years old, like, that's wild. And so, like, to think that we expected them to be perfect, and growing up, we probably did think they were perfect, aside from like the few blow-ups where like, I hate you. And then you go back to immediately loving them again as soon as you need fed or something. But no, I mean, there's plenty of things that like I probably didn't pick up on that I had to later on, but then also a bunch of amazing things. And so, do you ever try to incorporate like your family all together and set goals? Because I know goal setting is something that I've talked about a lot. Like, I think it's absolutely crucial for anybody, for anything. It doesn't have to just be working out. It doesn't have to be nutrition. It could be a sleep goal. It could be a goal for work. It could be a goal for learning how to play an instrument. It could be a goal for helping your dog lose 5 pounds, like literally anything. Do you incorporate your family in that and with goal setting to make it more of like a shared feeling of accomplishment, to make it like more fun?
Absolutely. Not to be, quoting someone, but to quote Benjamin Franklin, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So I love
quotes. Never apologize for quotes.
I love that.
I get made fun of all the time. I say I'm a quote guy.
Yeah. Oh, I love all those things. Like, I hear it running through my head. So, but it's true, right? So the theme of my school year for my kids, because I take them to school every day, I drive them. The theme is being intentional. So being intentional with how we act in school and what are we doing to learn and what we put in our body and, different things. But we all have a water goal. So because that's something that I know that they can accomplish. I'm not going to have them wearing a smartwatch at age 8, but, a water goal. I said, hey, can you fill up your water bottle? Because they each have 20 ounces. I'm like, can you see if you can fill it up?
It's a good reminder. I'm going to drink some right now.
Right? I know. Cheers. I had this while I was getting ready. Can you finish it 2 times? And, let me know. So they're very good with that. And then also for grades and different things, I don't need them to be straight A's. I said, I always want, mommy and daddy always want you to do your best. So if you do your best and you do your homework and everything's complete every week, I will let you guys pick the movie that we watch on Saturday. Like, it's something like that for rewarding. So I don't let them know necessarily for my goal, like my personal goals besides water, because again, I have different goals that they don't need to know right now, but I do 100%. Include them. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I also love the thing where you're like not demanding straight A's.
Yeah.
I don't think you hear that very much. I think usually parents are like wanting their kid to be the best,
Yeah.
Whereas like growing up, my parents just expected a 3.0 GPA. And that was it, which 3.0 GPA is not that great of a GPA. But I always maintained a 3.0 GPA, and I never felt the pressure to, be perfect with my studies. And I never really was a good student anyways. And I excelled in other areas of life and probably couldn't have even made it through college, if I'm being completely honest. And so that's cool that you do that.
And I think it's awesome that your parents knew you very well, and they knew how to, push you in the right directions and saw where you were good. Like same thing. My parents knew me, and I'm able to see certain things in my kids that I'm watching out for. So handling certain situations, and my daughter's a perfectionist because I was trying to be a perfectionist. And I saw that about a year and a half ago, and I saw her and I instantly stopped. And I realized that she was emulating me. This is when it really hit me, when I saw her having little breakdowns because she messed up or she didn't. And I was like, oh my word, she hears me at night when I go over with my husband what I'm not doing well enough. And that's when I took the pressure off of being a perfect parent. And I learned to just be like, hey guys, I'm so sorry. Mommy was really just exhausted today. We couldn't go to the park, but guess what? We're all going to make dinner together. We're going to do it tomorrow. Like, just being mindful of, I don't have to meet all of their needs. I don't. What they need is a mom who's very real and loves them and, takes care of all the other things, but don't demand being perfect on yourself. It's not worth it.
Yeah. And that kind of goes right into what I was going to ask next, is about like just balancing life on top of fitness. Like for me, like fitness is like a full-time job already. Yeah. How do you manage staying in shape, being healthy while taking your kids to school and helping them with their homework and keeping the house clean and cooking? And how do you manage a busy schedule like that? Because obviously a lot of people, their go-to excuse is that they don't have time to work out. They don't have time to meal prep. Their kids won't eat the food that they make. What do you say to that?
I hear that all the time. And I get it. It's a very real thing. But you make time for what you prioritize, plain and simple. You have time to sit on the couch and watch a movie at night. You have time for other things. Not saying that people shouldn't relax. However, there are more productive things that you need to be doing during the day. So, I have a routine now because, again, everything comes through stages. So if there's a brand new mom hearing this, I don't want them to be like, okay, no. I have gone through the fire. I have my battle scars. This is me coming out on the other end until I hit puberty, right? And I have to deal with all new problems. But I prioritize my health. And some days that means I'm going to the gym and I'm having a great time and I'm able to lift the way I want to. Other times that's not happening. Other times I have to put my family first. We had back to school this week and it was nonstop and my husband was back to school. So it was on me. Guess what?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Your husband's a teacher and
Yeah. So it was all hands on deck for mom. Right. Yeah. So it's a matter of, okay, looking at the schedule, what do I have to cut out? I didn't get my nails done this week. Bummer. Guess what? I meal prepped though. That takes priority. You have to sacrifice something, but don't let it be your health. Because at the end of the day, if you are unhappy and you're miserable, no one's happy in the household. So eating the right foods and finding times to balance that takes priority. Sleep takes priority. Yeah. I will say exercise, like I had to walk and work this week. I wasn't able to lift at the gym because I did work calls from a tiny office there. But guess what? That's what works for my schedule. So I tell parents all the time, keep evolving, give grace, be flexible, but you're not giving up your water. You're not giving up your sleep. You're not giving up balanced meals. You're just not.
You have the non-negotiables.
Exactly.
And it sounds like you kind of incorporate fitness more as like part of your lifestyle rather than this like other thing that you would like to do as well. And I think that's a different mindset.
It is a different mindset because what I wish everybody viewed exercise as, because it's just not culturally, and we get it, but exercise is a way of helping your body thrive. And I know it sounds so cliche, but like I feel so much better about myself when I get a great sweat on. I get that release, that stress relief. Moms are constantly talking about anxiety and stress, but what we're not doing is talking about, well, you're not exercising and you're drinking wine every day. And I'm not knocking that, but I do know that it is a really culturally pushed thing on because I'm 32. I had my last child when I hit 30. And it's very different now. But, it's just, when you scroll through social media for my feed, not yours, but it's all about, oh, is it wine o'clock yet? Da-da-da-da-da, so tired. And it's because we're not going to the right sources to fix our stress and anxiety. If I go lift some weights.
Love that.
Yeah. If I go lift some weights and I run on the treadmill, like I'm a new person. If my husband comes home and he sees me and he looks at me, he goes, oh, she's had a day. And I'm like, I just need 10 minutes. I got to go downstairs and I work out. He's like, you got it, go. Like everyone needs their partner to look out for their best interest and not pour them that glass or give them that food. It's like, hey, go for a walk around the block. Hey, why don't you go do some yoga downstairs? Do something for your mental health because that makes the long-term difference. And I will tell you, it's transcendent. It really is. And I know it sounds cliche, but there is definitely a movement for moms taking back their health and getting away from the mainstream Band-Aid effect, if you would,
Yep.
put it that
I was
way.
literally, and I'm glad you brought up the mental health piece, because I was about to bring that up as well. Like, even if it's not going and doing something physically and it's doing something to help your mental, like that's huge. Like even like going and like just getting into a quiet room where you don't hear anybody and you just want to be alone with your thoughts, and you want to maybe try meditation, or you want to journal. Like one of my go-tos for like mental health is journaling. I think it's something that most people would probably benefit from. It's just the ultimate stress reliever for me. But like finding what that is in your own life that will help you with your mental health side of things, because that's probably more important than the physical side of things, because if that's not taken care of, then good luck taking care of the physical side of things.
Yes. Your thoughts feed your body. It's everything.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. What do you say to anybody who like feels like their partner doesn't really support them in their fitness journey? Because I hear that a lot too.
Absolutely. I have that. And every case is going to be different, right? There's no blanket statement for all that. But it comes down to a part where when your partner doesn't support what you're trying to achieve, you're going to have to look from within. You're going to have to find some other accountability group or some group or a place that you feel safe and you feel surrounded by love, and you can make those changes. Because at the end of the day, you're not trying to be this aesthetic or this, not trying to be a goody-goody. You're not trying to be that person at a party. However, when you feel good, what makes you feel good. So to them, I go, it's easier said than done. I get it.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, your health is invaluable and there's no price tag on that. So if they genuinely love you and want what's best for you, they're going to allow you to work on your health. And you don't force them. You're not going to change them. A man, you can force them to eat broccoli, but they're still the mindset they hate broccoli. You can't change their mind, but you can teach them over time how you are going to cultivate your life. If you take care of your body when you're younger, it's going to take care of you when you're older.
There's a new quote. I like that one.
You can have it.
But okay, cool. That's all the questions I had for you.
Yeah.
This was a pretty long one. We also have, for everybody listening, we have another episode coming with Felicia where we're going to be talking about, to all the new moms out there, and we're going to be going over the changes that you might see happening within your body. And so I'm very excited about that one, but I'm going to wrap this one up here. Thank you so much for all this. This was very insightful. Awesome to hear from you, just hearing your experience of, figuring things out as you've gone, and how nobody's perfect, and how your view has changed a little bit. So it was really cool to hear, and thank you.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Now, if you are looking for some extra support and you aren't looking to spend a fortune, you should consider working with one of our VSHRED certified coaches. We'll figure out your macros, we'll figure out your calories, we'll figure out what your custom meal plan will look like. And yes, we'll make sure that it contains your favorite foods. And basically all you do is you let your coach know what you like, what you don't like, because when we say custom, we mean it. And you get unlimited emails, you get weekly check-ins, you get access to our brand new coaching app where you can message them at any time about anything with any questions. Our coaches are here to help you reach your goals, and they care about your success. And so all the details about how it works is in the description down below. So check that out if you want to. But thank you again for tuning in. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of VSHRED's Better Body, Better Life podcast. Whether you're doing one of our programs, taking our supplements, or just doing things on your own, tune in every week for exclusive content with Vince, VSHRED trainers, and special guests as they share valuable tips around motivation, workouts, food, and living a healthier lifestyle. See you next time.